He was brought face to face with AIDS and HIV when her niece and brother both died through the widespread pandemic in Africa that happened in the mid-1990s. As a single mother of 5 children, Theresa Malila was willing to go where no one else would go, not even the church. Theresa began visiting the sick and dying. All she had was a Bible and a vial of oil. Theresa from the African nation of Malawi, welcome to 100 Huntley Street.
Thank you.
Nice to have you back here. Before we talk about the amazing work that you're doing amongst the sick and amongst women, tell me about your own spiritual journey, because I know that's what motivates you to do what you're doing.
Well, I had a father that was serving in the church, and that was when I was a child. And I always remember the picture to date of my father sitting on the veranda reading his Bible. So I saw the Bible and knew the Bible at a very, very early age. And when I went to high school, that's when I joined the Christian Students' Union. And that's when I had an encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ for myself personally, apart from religion.
So I know growing up in the church, we have many people say, well, I grew up in the church and I don't know that exact point. So for you, I mean, you were learning the Bible, and then there was that moment when it all really made sense?
Yes, absolutely, because we were now in high school. I was at a boarding school. So we had a worship center, and then we would get pastors and priests, Catholic priests, charismatic priests coming in. So I joined the charismatic movement before I actually became part of the Pentecostal church.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you're growing up, have you got this passion to serve the Lord, or would that come later on in life?
I think I always had a passion to serve, because my father served in the church, but he served people. He was a chief, and people used to come to him day and night. I mean, my father was always there for people. So I think it's something that I saw, modeled in my life. So as I began to go to school, I was a prefect, then I was a monitor. So I did that service throughout my life. But later on in life, when I was much older and working, I worked in organizations that were service providers mostly, in the field work. So I'm used to field work, but also working and serving with people.
And you had a heart to help people. So when AIDS really struck Africa in a strong way, you, as I mentioned off the beginning here, is you were affected. You lost family members to AIDS and HIV. How did that impact you at the time then?
Well, I think, sometimes you just know what God is asking you to do. You may want to draw back, but I knew that this was something God was calling me to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know where, but I knew that in the slum areas where people were dying 5 a day, 6 a day, 7 a day, I mean, it was like flies, but I had that call in my spirit, and so I went. I walked to these places with my Bible, bottle of oil, prayed for people, and God began to miraculously, heal the people. And so people heard about me and heard about what I was doing, and they called for me. So I would go wherever I was called. I went to hospitals. I prayed for the people in hospitals. I went to people's homes. Wherever I was called, I went.
So when you talk about people being healed, was it through medicine, or was it a supernatural laying hands on and
no, there was
like the
no
stories
medicine.
of the Bible?
There was no medicine. I had the Bible and my vial of oil. That was all. I would anoint people and I would pray. In fact, even Muslims started calling to say, can you call? They call me Amai Teresa, which means Mother Teresa.
Yes.
Could you please call her to come and pray for me? It was miraculous. It was God. No meds, nothing, not even a painkiller.
Wow. Were you surprised at how the Lord was using you so powerfully?
I was shocked. I was in a state of shock, but I knew it was the Lord. It had nothing to do with me. It was just my obedience to serve at that point.
When we come back, we want to talk a little bit about some of the work that you're doing with women especially. Girls are often seen as equal with a chicken. So we'll talk more with Theresa when we come back on 100 Huntley Street.